Just a
Hi.
second. Yes. Hello. Oh, yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So nice to meet you again. But you are muted. Can you check your mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Nice to
okay.
see you
Yes.
again.
Thank you, Fikman. It's a pleasure to be here again with you.
Okay. So the topic itself is really interesting. When I saw the word OpenAI and GPT, it's almost booming all over the internet. So people are, I mean, not only like technical profession, even non-tech guys are using it heavily. I mean, almost everyone is using for their proposal, even for any kind of queries, technical, non-technical. So this is really a good, I mean, it is a kind of, I can say, a next level of innovation, which we have never seen in the past. And response is also really, I mean, human understandable. So it's now you can share your screen. I can just make you live.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Um, okay, so let's see. Definitely, this topic or OpenAI, ChatGPT, these technologies um, are trending right now, or even from some months ago. And what is amazing or surprising is that this is just the beginning, because newer models are trained, more powerful, maybe even cheaper. And yeah, as you mentioned, they help um, people from different fields, not only IT or computer science, but artists. I have seen some people who use ChatGPT for, let's say, get some ideas around, I don't know, marketing campaigns. Even on Fiverr, I saw that now there are some
Mm,
offers from people. I will use
mm.
ChatGPT to create your, I don't know, website, or to add something interesting to, like, put your business in the first places. It's amazing, definitely.
Yeah, and interesting thing about it is like it is not focused with the one domain. The best thing is about it, like we can ask question related with health, with marketing, with science, with coding, with education, history, everything. That's
Exactly,
amazing.
exactly. It knows everything. Exactly. Okay,
Okay, so
so
go on.
mhm. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Also to Satya for the invitation. So it's a pleasure to be here. So good afternoon, morning, everyone. So my name is Luis Beltran. I am Microsoft MVP in AI developer technologies and Azure. I'm currently a PhD candidate at Thomas Bate University in Zlin, Czech Republic, although I'm from Mexico. And today I'm going to talk or cover, let's say, this open AI topic, but from the point of view where you can bring your own data, where you can customize, let's say, the model or the output to consider what you have. Maybe you have information from a database, maybe you have some documents, some files, and you, of course, can extract the text and maybe ask GPT-3 or OpenAI, actually, to uh, I don't know, answer some questions from your data, or to perform a classification task based on what you have. So yeah, this is what I'm going to present. Okay, so I already also introduced myself. Here you have my contact details, well, on Twitter, and yeah. So if anything, I will be really glad to assist or to chat, to build some conversation around it. Okay, so this is our uh, schedule for today. First of all, I will just give a brief introduction about OpenAI. Basically, it's just to set some context, because, well, it is true that there are like three main elements I consider: OpenAI, GPT-3, and ChatGPT. What are they? How they distinguish between, these terms or these concepts. It is important because sometimes we use them, but let's say maybe we are using different terms, right? Like, okay, I am using ChatGPT to maybe, for example, because I did it to connect to, I don't know, some .NET MAUI application. But people told me, no, but that's the OpenAI API. And well, I said, okay, yeah, that is true because ChatGPT is just a layer about conversation. Anyways, we'll see. Then we follow to the main topic of our session, which is how we can bring our data. And there are two strategies. One is fine-tuning, which actually produces a model, a new model, let's say based on the main one, and the embeddings, which is, I call it playing a bit around the prompts. That is the questions that you ask the model. Of course, there are some two demos, and finally some resources that I found interesting. All right, so first concept is OpenAI. So, well, OpenAI is a research organization which aims to promote, develop artificial intelligence tools that can make an impact into the society, that can help the humanity. There are several founders. One of them was Elon Musk. And the idea of these founders was they thought that AI had potential several years ago to transform many aspects of society and improve everyone's lives. And we see now the results, although actually there is a lot of research, there is a lot of work behind, but last year we got a glimpse, right, with especially with this type of images or pictures, that we could ask an AI, how can you draw a cat, let's say, dressed as a programmer? We did it even yesterday, and it was fun. So yes, and in this case, like an elephant with a hamburger hat, and you see some nice results, funny results. But of course, there, in these generative models, there is a lot of work, there is a lot of research that sometimes you don't see. But yeah, of course, this sounds interesting because it brings new potential to what we can do. There is people who use the models created by OpenAI, such as GPT-3, Codex, or DALI 2, for productivity, or they use them as an assistant for what they do. In our case, for example, my colleague and I, we use it to maybe produce some Python code. We play, or we use a lot of convolutional neural networks for our research in computer vision. And sometimes we need like some ideas, or okay, can we add, I don't know, YOLO model, or how to like play with mathematics, let's say, around the data frames, around the vectors. And of course, we can also use browsers or search engines. However, it looks like maybe that's from the past, right? Like now everyone wants to get involved with ChatGPT and learn how to use it. Anyways, so this organization, yes, has produced different models. And one of them, of course, is GPT-3. So that's the next topic or the next slide. But before I leave this slide, it is important to mention that this organization, OpenAI, also works to educate the public about the potential impacts and also the risks that AI brings. Because, well, yeah, unfortunately, once we get some nice development or nice deployment, yeah, there are people or some people can also use it to introduce some bias, to maybe generate or guide the AI to produce some, let's say, bad results or some bias, or even to attack other people. And that's something we should always be aware of about the responsible usage of the AI. Well, so we talk about the organization. Now we have a general pre-trained transformer, or GPT. And in this case, this is version 3, because, which was released 2 years ago in June 2020. And of course, it is based on previous generative models, GPT-1 and GPT-2. But of course, this version is much larger, more powerful. Right now, actually, for example, ChatGPT, which I will mention in a minute, uses GPT 3.5, which is or which contains more than 150 billion parameters. This model has been trained on text conversations from the open internet. For example, one of the sources is Reddit, and you know Reddit is one forum where people talk about different topics in different, of course, categories. So actually, this GPT produces some conversation or answers some questions. We typically bring some query or some prompt. That's the concept. We ask something and we get a response. We might ask, because we also did it even yesterday. It was fun. Like, can you create, let's say, a poem, or can you write a poem about .NET or C#? And yeah, it produced a really nice, let's say, message or poem, which it is not only random text. Actually, it rhymed. I mean, the text more or less made sense. It was built around some nice, beautiful words. So it was amazing, because we only, with small query, it brings that. I mean, it is not like a copy paste from something that already someone already did. No, it is creating. It is generating new knowledge, let's say, or new text. And later this year, GPT version 4 will be deployed, or at least that's the promise. And it is expected that it will be 100 times faster, even faster than the current version, and also more optimized. Well, so yeah, it can produce effective marketing, for example, content, assist some agents to improve customer experience. And well, there are different models, Ada, Babbage, Curie, and Da Vinci. Maybe Da Vinci is the most well-known. The other models, let's say, were created in order. So Ada is the first version. It is the simplest one. It is quite fast. However, the results maybe are not satisfactory as Da Vinci. Or let's say that Da Vinci is more powerful, right? But also when you try to use it, yeah, it is more pricey. But anyways, they also target different tasks. For example, if you want to answer questions, you might use Curie, for example. Or if you want to get creative content, you might use Da Vinci. Anyways, and there are also other models that we mentioned here, like Codex, which is aimed to create basically code. Like, for example, when you ask, write me the code to create an array in Python. So that's Codex. For example, Copilot, GitHub Copilot uses Codex. And DALL-E 2 is the one that produces these creative images based on some input. And finally, ChatGPT is the conversational AI layer, which you use to get some text, some responses from the model, right? So ChatGPT, as the name suggests, it is this nice UI, let's say, where you can ask questions. And of course, internally, it uses the GPT-3 models. So that's the difference between these three terms. Okay. And as powerful as it is, the models might also lead to create incorrect information, or it can be guided to produce some bias, which is not good, of course. And since it was trained with data up to 2021, for example, from Wikipedia and other sources, maybe its knowledge about recent events is limited. It was quite common to ask when ChatGPT came around, who is Twitter's CEO? And the answer was not Elon Musk, because this happened last year, of course. But after that, of course, it was fixed, because that's we can always retrain the model to improve over the time. So in this case, yeah, they added different information to also get more accurate, but only in specific cases. So yeah, and this is where there is some gap. So there might be some issues. It cannot, I mean, if I ask a question about my data, like directly, what is the, let's say, top product from my database? Of course, it will not know, because I need to provide that context. But fortunately, OpenAI GPT-3 models are capable of actually fine-tune the model, or get information, get some context that we can provide. So yes, we can provide our data, bring our data, and there are, as I said, two techniques. One is the fine-tuning, and the second one is the embeddings. So let's get started, because time flies. So the idea behind fine-tuning is to help GPT-3 to produce, let's say, domain-specific responses, that if we can train a GPT-3 based model on our own data, then it can understand, it can analyze, it can classify, or even build, reply to some of our questions. And the steps, let's say, are here. Yes, there are three. First of all, we need to prepare training data. Second step, train the model, and finally consume it. So it looks like a classical machine learning task. And well, yes, basically that. However, for example, in the preparation of training data, there are some requirements. Anyways, so I have Jupyter notebook here, this one. Just a second. But I will explain on the slides, because I think we can focus a bit more. So just a second. This is a bit complicated. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay. So our first step, of course, is to get an API key from the portal, for example, and yeah, install the OpenAI package for tools. Yeah, we are doing this with Python. However, you can, of course, do it with .NET, for example. That's my next challenge, and I will start on it next week to actually do the same with C#. Anyways, so yes, we get our API key. We place it maybe in some environment variable. And second step, okay, let's import our data. In this example, we are bringing information from a data set from scikit-learn, such as the 20 news groups. In this case, there are some like emails with, of course, some text. So that's the content from the email. And there are two categories. Okay, so the email content belongs to either baseball or hockey. And you will see some example here. Yeah, this is one of the emails. And you see, oh, this is all the information, right? And if you read it, at some point you might, yeah, it is talking about, okay, information for Cleveland tickets. Yeah, and maybe you get some terms, some keywords, right? Or simple. This is data that is, let's say, known. So actually, this was already labeled. This first element is from baseball category. You can see it here. Yes. Well, yeah, this is supervised learning because we know the content and the output. Anyways, or this will be supervised learning. And also, please notice that we have two classes. So this will be a binary classification task, and the classes are balanced because we have almost the same number of samples, let's say, in per class. So that's fine. That's nice, good. And so this was just, of course, we can apply also some pre-processing, like discard something that we might not need, which might not be relevant at all. Anyways, so now we can proceed to actually the first step, which is the preparation and upload of training data. And in this case, the how to prepare the data, we need to produce a JSON line, okay, JSON L, which stands for JSON lines file, right? Which is here. Basically, a JSON lines means that, okay, maybe I don't have an example here. No, okay, I don't have it. But you remember, let's say a JSON, typically, okay, we have our curly brackets, then we have in different row a property, colon, value, comma, and then next property, colon, value, comma, and so. But in this case, every line contains the whole JSON, let's say, of one entry or of one object, and in different line, another one, you know, to simplify the parsing. Anyways, so yes, we have, let's say, if we have 10 lines, it means we have 10 objects, right? And every entry or every member in our JSON lines file must be a prompt completion pair, right? So only these two properties with those keywords. And the prompt is basically the content, right? The whole text. And the completion would be the class, right? So you can observe in this case 5 examples and also 5 5 prompts, 5 completions, right? But actually, yeah, we of course provide even more. So this is how we prepare the data, and the second step is to prepare it, because the preparation means that in the end we will produce 2 files, training and validation. And for this, we will use the OpenAI tools. And you can observe we have the fine-tune subject and the prepare data method. Then we say, okay, this is our source, some JSON lines file. And this tool is not only about producing the training and validation set. It also analyzes and provides some recommendation, even performs something. For example, because we are using, let's say, the default parameter or argument. So it analyzes your data. It tells you, okay, you have this number of pairs. It seems that you want to fine-tune a model for classification. You are bringing this data. We recommend you to use ADA because it is faster, it is cheaper, and also it is suited for this task. So that's fine. But if you want to improve the performance, you can use other models. Anyways, it also tells you, for example, that there are very long examples. So it is recommended to discard them because they might add some noise or they are not so common. It also recommends to add some suffix separator, white space character at the beginning, and other cases. So in the end, it will split your original file into two versions, train and validation. Sorry. And now we have a couple of prepared files, and we can proceed to step number 2, which is about training the fine-tuned model. And I will show you in a minute, because in this case, we will use the create method, right? So OpenAI API fine-tunes create. We provide the training set, the validation set. We can also calculate the metrics like accuracy and so on. And we, in this case, since it is a classification, binary classification task, we can mention, okay, we consider that the baseball is the positive class, right? And the model, we are using ADA model. Of course, if you are not using Python, you can also all the time use the API, for example, right? We have fine-tunes endpoint, and we provide the training file. Okay, and when you do that, let's say the theory says that, okay, your files will be submitted, a job will be created, and at some point you will get a fine-tuned model, right? Actually, this is the model. And this is actually stored in your account, let's say. And well, yeah, there is a price that you have to pay to store it, but it is not expensive, I believe. Anyways, and now you can consume it. You can, let's say, answer or classify some text that you want. However, I said the theory says that because actually when you execute or run this command, you will not get immediate results, because also at the same time there are other people who also want their models trained. So actually what happens is that after 1 minute of processing, your job will be interrupted. It is not, okay, interrupted I think is a hard or complicated word. As I would say, paused, right? Because this is not an error. This is something normal. It will tell you, okay, the job is stopped because there are other people who also want to fine-tune their models. You can resume your progress with this command. So actually, we need to run it several times, and at some point we will have our job completed, right? And we will do it right now. So yeah, but of course, it uses some identifier. It assigns some ID to your job, and you must use it every time. Let's say it doesn't change, so that's nice. Okay, so for example, at this point, I can go to the. Okay, I'm not sure why it didn't. Okay, now we have it. Good, but give me a second, please, because probably yeah. Okay, so here we are. Yes. So probably I need to run this again, or I don't know. Let me check. Okay, well, maybe I will, just to simplify things a bit, I will run everything. Probably should have done it before. But everything that I just explained is here. But I want you to notice, just a second, please. Yeah, okay, I understand well. Because I moved to, I opened it into Windows, so sorry for that. I will just stop it. And I will just run again. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so let's try again. I will run everything. It will connect at some point. And again, it refresh. Anyways, so you can see that we have the let's say tools, and we are bringing the information that we have. Let's say in this case it is from scikit-learn, but we can of course obtain the information from some API, from some database. So the possibilities are unlimited, I believe. Okay, so yeah, it will execute this, but yeah, just a second. Yeah, this is the data preparation tool that I mentioned earlier, and this is where we need like to no, in this next one, this is where it will stop a bit. Yes, so it's okay. We might wait for a few minutes, but in the meantime, I can also mention that we tried this several times, because, as I said, it does something, then after a minute it disconnects, so you need to run the command again. It does some processing, 1 minute, then again, and it enters actually a queue. So sometimes it might not be executed immediately, so you have to wait. Anyways, at some point, your model will be created. Yes, so that's a success. And for example, this is one run that I did, and you can see that I was there for around 20 minutes, just rerunning this command. Sometimes it might take even less time. Anyways, and now you need to focus or take a look at this model name. In this case, it says ADA FT personal, and also it adds the time where the model was created. Because now we can use this model, or this model name, to actually answer questions from our data. So you can observe that we are accessing the completion endpoint, which is the typical one that we use to ask GPT-3 or OpenAI to do something. And you can observe we provide actually the model as one of the arguments, right? Here we have. And then we also include the suffix, because that's something that we added at the beginning. And we have the prompt. In this case, for the prompt, we are using data from our validation subset, right? So you can observe that we have 5 entries. The first 3 are from hockey, and next 2 are from baseball category. And when we want to predict, or when we want to use the model, it actually produces the same expected result, right? Of course, in some cases it might fail because there is no perfect model. But yeah, this is now let's say OpenAI is classifying information based on your own data. So, for example, if you have, I don't know, some I don't know, some products, right? And you have some features, some characteristic. Okay, tell me which product is this based on? I don't know, based on price, based on some dimensions, based on some color attributes, blah blah. It can tell you which one is, or maybe help you to classify some customer, because sometimes this is important. Like if this customer might leave us, or it might stay, so we can focus or target some marketing and so, right? So yeah, it can help assist us in this machine learning task. So I will go back here. Okay, yeah, this is still taking some time. Sorry for that. And I think it was even stopped. So yeah, well, yesterday it was working very nicely, but for some reason, yeah, maybe I need to restart my computer. Okay, yeah, it seems that, I got it. I need to, yeah, because in this case, I already have the file, so I need to like accept or just type enter here. Yeah, in this case, it is stuck. I know, because I already, let's say, created this file, so I need to, it is asking me to just confirm the name, but for some reason I cannot click enter. But anyways, we will see. So, well, this is one way. Yeah, and of course, if you also want to know why each or some prompt actually generated some class, you can add this argument, log props. Basically, it will tell you the, let's say, most relevant word or words from your prompt, right? For example, in the first example, there was hockey and hockey. In the third example, there were two words, NHL and hockey. In the fifth example, there was ball and baseball. And these help or were the most relevant keywords that determine the class. If you remember, the first three were hockey, and the other two were baseball. Yeah, so these were the most relevant words. And of course, you can also play with the temperature. Temperature produces, let's say, less random results. A temperature of 1 gets more creative. So you can leave that for, I don't know, for poems, songs, and so on. Anyways, and it can also generalize, that is, even though it was trained with emails, if you add text from a tweet, it can also produce some nice results. So in this case, a tweet content was submitted, and it was talking about NHL. So it said, okay, yeah, it is hockey. But in this other case, it was talking about Tampa Bay Rays, which is a baseball team. Slugger is, for example, one term from baseball, and yeah, it said it is from baseball, right? So let me very quickly check. Yeah, it was somehow like stopped. So I'm sorry for that, because here I will need. Okay, I will just stop it and see if I can. Okay, that was canceled. I might try again. Yes. Okay, good. Well, okay. In this case, what happened? I might say it is using the, let's say, model name which I already trained yesterday. So that's why I got the result like immediately, because this job was already pre-processed. But if I bring some new model name that was created before, then I should wait, like I said before. But as I said, well, then later I can use this name, right? The model name to do some inference, right? And this is the one that I use, and you saw the results. In this case, actually, I modified it to actually classify the first 10 entries, and you see the results, right? Some are hockey, some are baseball, and it's up to us to check if this is correct or not. If there is a mistake, we know this concept as hallucinating. Okay, so yeah, this was the fine-tuning part, and the second one is about the embeddings. I know there is not so much time, or I might ask how much time is left for this session. Maybe I can tell a bit about embeddings. It is not long, but
yeah, Luis, you can take your time. No worries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. So, but still, yeah, I will mention. Yes. So in this case, embeddings is used to, let's say, assist GPT-3 in avoiding the hallucination or hallucinating. What is that? Well, we might ask some questions. We mentioned earlier that this technology or these models is a bit limited regarding word events. So, for example, if we ask who won the 2020 Summer Olympics men's high jump, of course, we maybe use the API. We might get some result, such as, okay, Marcelo Chiguirini from Brazil won the gold medal, and so on. And we say, okay, yes, nice. However, maybe we want to double check, we want to cross check this information, and actually we go to Wikipedia, and we find that, okay, he was an Olympic finalist. Okay, that's not necessarily a winner of gold medal. Actually, in Rio Games, and most importantly, he was a swimmer, not a high jumper. So, well, what happened in this case? Of course, the machine learning model gets the top result. However, maybe the scoring or the score for that result is not high enough. However, it has to say something. It doesn't recognize that maybe the answer is not correct. But we can help, actually, GPT-3 to do that. We can address this hallucination of just saying something, maybe lies, if we are more explicit. If we say, okay, please answer the question, be as honest as possible. If you are not sure, say, sorry, I don't know. And we have the question. Then actually the response is, sorry, I don't know. Because, as I said earlier, maybe there are different choices or different results. However, the probability for the first one is 0.3, and for the second one is 0.25, and the third one 0. So as you can see, 0.3 is not enough, but it says something. But now that we ask ChatGPT, okay, recognize if you don't know something, just say it. It is okay. I mean, maybe we understand it. Perfect. That's nice. So we can prevent this. And we can even improve the prompt. If we actually provide context, if we say, answer the question, yes, similar to the previous one, be as honest as possible, you can use the provided text. Now we are giving some context, maybe from Wikipedia, maybe from some database, maybe from some file that we have. Okay, use this information to answer a question. And now, actually, it got the correct answer. It analyzed all the tokens. It found, okay, the answer is right here, and this is the result. Actually, there was a tie between these two people or two athletes, and they won both. They both won the gold medal. So yes, now we are passing the context. Now it can know the answer, right? So everything, let's say the potential is around building a nice prompt. And this is known as embeddings technique. I'm not expert, let's say, in text processing, because as I said, I move more into the computer vision, but some friends help me to understand this. Basically, an embedding is a vector of floating point numbers, and they represent the distance between two concepts. For example, we might have a term, cat, and you can see that the value between 0 and 1 for a feline category is 0.9. That's nice. But for human is 0.1 because a cat is not a human, right? Nice. And in other cases, we might even get negative because maybe it is not necessarily related with that. What happened, for example, with kitten? Okay, kitten is kind of similar. So yes, this category is nice. This category is negative. That's fine. And at the end, these two vectors, we can find or measure the similarity, maybe with the dot product. And cat and kitten are close or closer than cat and dog, for example. However, then again, the distance, maybe they are more or less related because they are both pets. The distance is less than from cat to houses because there is not so much relationship. Maybe a cat lives in a house. However, the terms or the concept is not necessarily close. And now we can extend this into sentences. We might find which sentences are similar or text, right? And we can provide a prompt. There is this question: who won the gold medal in high jump? And we have a collection of documents. This prompt, this query, where can I find the information? Which one is closer to what we have here? And we can get the best context. And now we can answer the question. That's basically what we have to do. So the first step is some pre-processing. Okay, get your data, get your columns. In this case, we have title, heading, content, and tokens. Okay, tokens, how many words? content, of course, all the context, all the information, title from maybe from Wikipedia entry, and the heading, maybe some class, some category, something. Then the API of OpenAI has an embedding endpoint. So if we provide some text, we can get the vectors, right? We can get the embedding of the information. And we can do this for every document. Maybe we have a collection of Wikipedia entries, right? So we can create a collection of vectors. And this is how, in the next slide, you can see how a vector looks like. So if we provide one sample, right, one document, okay, so we have 2020 Summer Olympics, we have the summary, this is the section, right, of the Wikipedia entry, and there are the vector, the elements, right? So we have all those entries, and we do this for every document. Now, we want to find similar document, and as I said, the similarity between the embeddings, between the vectors, we can find it by the dot product, or maybe we define some techniques, some maybe calculation to find it. Maybe we have our own implementation. That's totally fine. This one is up to you, but we need to find the similarity. We need to find which vectors, which sentences are similar, because that means that maybe the answer of our prompt is there. Yes. And of course, we can also sort the information by the similarity. So now we are ready. Okay, yeah, for example, this is one sample, right? So if we ask who won the men's high jump, these 5 Wikipedia entries or sections might have the answer, because the concepts, the keywords can be found here. And let's say with most, they are more relevant, let's say, or most probably, because you can actually see the similarity, 0.88, 0.86. In other cases, maybe they are talking about soccer. Most probably the answer is not there, right? Because there is no similarity at all, right? So yeah, this is the context that we can provide to GPT-3 or to OpenAI models to actually get some response, right? And actually, this is the final step. Add the most relevant document to the query prompt. So if you remember, we started with who won the gold medal. Then we said, okay, be as honest as possible. If you don't know, say, I don't know. And the best improvement was to actually include context. And this is what we are doing here. Because, just a second, yeah, we are finding documents by similarity. Of course, we provide the question. So we get the top documents. In this case, we are considering 2, I believe, in the next part. And finally, we build a prompt. So yeah, for example, if the user asks, who won 2020 Summer Olympics men's high jump, this is the prompt that will be sent to OpenAI API in order to get some response, right? So answer the question as honest as possible. This is the context based on this information, right? This is the key. And then you will get a reply. And yeah, of course, answer the question, use the completions endpoint, and the result is what we had earlier. Gianmarco Tamberi, Muktas Savarshim emerged as joint winners. Okay, and well, yeah, I have also the notebook here. Let's see if this is open. But yeah, basically it is that. I mean, we have finished. So if in the meantime, if there is any question, I will be happy to answer, or I will do my best. So yeah, while this open, maybe we can take this time to do that, also to not take time from our next speaker. So is there any question?
No, Luis, thank you. We checked. I don't see any question from anyone.
Okay, good. Yeah, so unfortunately, it is taking some time to load this. I'm not sure if my internet is failing, but yeah, this is one question answering. I must say that yeah, these two samples are from the cookbook. I also have some resources. I will share it with you in a minute. Okay, so well, it will open this. Yeah, this one. But let's say there is a difference between these two techniques, right? The fine tuning and the embeddings. Because in fine tuning, we produce a new model. Let's say we actually trained it. And in this case, we are not training a model. We are actually building a prompt with all the information that the GPT model needs to get an answer. So again, if we provide, okay, maybe we have some feedback from our customers, and we want to know if it is positive, if it is negative, or maybe if we are looking for feedback regarding, let's say, marketing campaign, right? So we can get the feedback around it. Maybe we have 1,000 documents, comments, and some of them are about products, some of them are about customer experience, some of them are about marketing, so we might find them and also answer questions, because actually this question answering is with embeddings, it is, let's say, recommended, not fine tuning. But anyways, these are just two techniques, right? And in the meantime, also, while this is running, I can share the resources. Yeah, and also this, as I said earlier, even the founder of OpenAI, one of the founders, Sam Altman, said that, yes, this is impressive, but there is still work to be done. How to avoid, let's say, bias, how to improve results, because as you see, sometimes it might hallucinate, right? But this is like just the beginning. We are, let's say, looking forward to what AI brings for upcoming months, and also, let's say, do our best, maybe be part of it. So yeah, these are the resources. There is, of course, the documentation from fine tuning, from the OpenAI guide, the cookbook, which has a lot of samples. And also you can do it in OpenAI. Just yesterday night, I got access to the Azure OpenAI, so I did not miss any time. It was like 1 a.m. in the morning. We were finishing also our Global AI Bootcamp in Latin America. So at 2 a.m., I ran a stream in my YouTube channel, and we explored the platform a bit. And we found out that it is possible also to do this fine tuning there with very nice UI. We finished around 4 a.m. So I could not prepare like something like maybe it would be very nice, but maybe for next or future presentation. Yes. But it's impressive. Yes, so we can also do the embeddings with cookbook, guide, and also the Azure OpenAI. So thank you for your time, and well, I'm open to follow conversation, discuss something. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Luis. It was quite a comprehensive session. We learned a lot of things, especially how to train the model with our own data. This is also one of the important things, since we are now people are actually crazy about this chat GPT. So obviously they want to train their own data because they want to use it in their own application. So
Definitely.
obviously this is going to help us. And yes, the JSON format, you said that the data. So I think that if we can get some interface, to upload our data and train it, it will be more easier for us, because to prepare that JSON file for tons and tons of data, I think again we need to develop another tool.
Yes, yes, yeah, definitely. You need to somehow produce these JSON lines. Yeah, that's the step. Yes. So well, in Python it is quite easy, because with the data frame there is lines equal to true, a parameter, and that's it. But yeah, in other programming languages, we might rely on some package library or do it by ourselves. But yeah, and of course, if we provide this to our users, then we simplify their lives. So yeah, but that's a challenge. So we can do it.
Yeah, it's just a beginning, no? I mean,
Yeah.
lots of things is about to come, and as you
Yeah.
said, like
Yes.
all the latest content is not available in OpenAI or ChatGPT. So this is also one way. We want to see how it will come. This is because uh, people as a developers also we want to see the latest stack and even the latest tools there. So whatever the news coming latest, that also if available in the chat GPT or like OpenAI, it will be easy for people to get the latest information. Yeah, it
Yes.
was really a
Yes.
nice session. We
It is.
see
It is
much
exciting. So
yes, yes. So thank you, and I think our next speaker is already here, and we are a
yes.
bit late, but the session was really exciting.
Thank you, and
Okay.
sorry, Liz. So you are
Thank you,
welcome, and
Liz.
thank you, Satya, thank you, everyone, and